Hi, my name is Mitchell Stone. I'm a 23-year-old Korean adoptee. I grew up in Centennial, Colorado for most of my life. I have 4 other adopted Korean siblings as well. I guess growing up as an Asian American and an Asian adoptee in Centennial, Colorado, I think most people can kind of emphasize or relate to not really growing up around people that they look like or they can relate to. And that was me growing up for a long time. Like, I didn't have any role models that looked like me. Nobody that I was related to looked like me in my town. And that went on for good 18 years until I went to college. And even in college, like, it wasn't super diverse for a long time too as well. So those years were really hard. Like, I was just trying to find myself and like find my identity, and like I didn't even know what it meant to be Asian American. And truthfully, like, I didn't even like myself, and I kind of resented my features. Like, I remember like looking into a mirror and like not really liking anything that I saw and kind of like wishing I looked different, and I just hated my features all throughout high school and even up to college. And I legitimately didn't think anybody liked me for who I was or anything like that. That was tough, honestly, like really tough to feel like more than anything alone in that struggle, because the internet was still like in the phases before becoming widespread accepted. So I didn't really know who to talk to or who to reach out to. So that was even more tough. You felt really alone. I mean, I had my siblings and we're really close, and we talked about adoption and our Asian American identities, but it's still difficult. I would say that a lot of that stuff actually changed in the last 2 or 3 years. After I graduated college, I started to really get in touch with my identity and who I was. And I've had experiences with my Korean culture as well before that. I went to Korea 3 times, last time in 2018. Each of those were really helpful in developing who I was and giving myself like a sense of identity. But they still often left more questions than answers for me, and trying to figure out who I am, because it's like, it is hard, honestly, not really knowing where you came from. And like, most people can say like, oh yeah, I got my eyes from my mom, or I got my stubbornness from my dad, but my birth parents I never knew. So it's really hard for me to connect those two. And in a lot of cases, I rejected my sense of self. To kind of catch up, in the last 3 years, like, I spent a lot of time thinking about my identity, and a lot of times of figuring out who my community is, who I serve. So I started going to Korean church. I started eating more ethnically diverse foods, and especially Korean food, just to kind of reconnect with my culture, I would say. So I wouldn't say I've really come full circle, because I don't think that anyone truly like has made it with their identity, but I can genuinely say that like in the last 2 or 3 years, I have improved and I have made a difference in my life, and I feel so much more confident to be who I am, and like that it's okay to be different, even though it didn't always feel like that. And I realize more than anything, it's my strength and it's my biggest asset that I can bring to any team or really anything, because I think about things that other people really don't have access to, because they've never been forced to really think about things in that way. So I'm very proud of who I've become and like the journey that I've been on. It was never easy, but it's something that I am very proud of, again, through and through. And I can only thank like the community around me, like other Korean adoptees, Koreans in general, any Asians, and even like what's going on right now with just the hate crimes that are going on. That I feel like has brought up a feeling and a sense of purpose that a lot of people have never felt before, that you can be targeted in that way just because of the way you look and your background. But that's very common and it's been a theme throughout my whole life. I remember a coach told me once, like, yeah, all you do is eat dogs. And I was just like, it was just bizarre to me that, like, I'm adopted, so that shouldn't apply to me. But it turns out that even the guise of adoption and the guise of being white passing, quote unquote, would be a sort of protection, but even then it wasn't. So it's been tough, but again, it's a good journey that I have, and all I can say is like, I hear you, those people that feel those same things and that are different in any sort of fashion. And that's only something that can only benefit you in the long run. So definitely keep it up, and things might feel scary and you might feel alone, but at the end of the day, like if you find those people that can really stay beside you and if you get to the root of who you are and ask those questions, I think you'll become a better person at the end of it. So all in all, I'd say that yeah, it's always a journey and things are always difficult. And I think it can be even more difficult sometimes by being different. But I think it's important just to realize that your struggles only make you better.